Imagine being deep in the wilderness, navigating your way, and your watch suddenly dies. Pretty frustrating, right? Well, those days could be over thanks to this thing, the COROS Apex 2 Pro. Say goodbye to unreliable tech with its unparalleled battery life and advanced navigation. Plus, it has a few mind-blowing features you didn't even know you needed, like controlling your action camera right from your wrist. Stick around to discover why this watch is an essential companion for every outdoor enthusiast, promising to transform your adventures. Hi everyone, I'm Mauser, and with over 30 years of hiking and 13 years of using wrist tech, I've navigated countless trails with nearly every major watch brand, except one, COROS. So when COROS kindly offered to send me their Apex 2 Pro to try out, I was eager to jump on board. Now, just to be clear, no money changed hands, but COROS did send the watch over to me free of charge. But as always, I'll be sharing my honest thoughts based on my personal experience with the watch after 3 weeks of testing. Now, when I first started wearing a device all those years ago, I bought it primarily for running. And since then, I have come to rely heavily on a watch for hiking and off-track navigation. Now, I have pretty much tried every major brand of watch out there, except one, COROS. It is a brand that I've been keen to test for quite a little while. So, in this video, I'm going to tell you about the features that matter most when you're out on the trail. From enhanced tracking during runs, to offline navigation when you're miles from civilization, and even some advanced tools for group safety and personal training. There is a lot to cover. So stick around because you might discover features you didn't know existed in the COROS Apex 2 Pro. So let's start by addressing a common dilemma, choosing the right watch for endurance activities. Now, when you visit the COROS website, you'll see that you have the option between two different Apex watches, the Apex 2 and the Apex 2 Pro, this one that I'm wearing today. When deciding between the COROS Apex 2 and the Apex 2 Pro, the choice can hinge on features that matter most during longer, tougher adventures. And while both models are packed with excellent features, the Pro takes it further with a bigger screen, longer battery life, and dual frequency GPS. For example, the Pro provides up to 66 hours of full GPS tracking compared to the Apex 2's, the non-Pros, 40 hours. So if you are into multi-day hikes or ultra marathons, that type of thing, this extended battery life and GPS accuracy are invaluable. It ensures that you stay on track in more challenging environments, making it a go-to for serious adventurers. Now, the dual frequency GPS deserves attention too, as it significantly improves accuracy in complex terrains like dense forests and some city environments where signals can bounce or weaken. And don't forget the enhanced battery life, which can be a game changer when you are out for days at a time without a chance to recharge or if you're relying on a battery pack. So who benefits most? Well, if you are planning a multi-day trek, an ultra marathon or adventure in remote areas where battery life and GPS precision are crucial, the Apex 2 Pro is clearly the right choice. And as a bonus, it offers a better experience for athletes and explorers who need the extra robustness that the Pro model provides. Size and comfort. One standout feature of the Apex 2 Pro is its size. At 46.1 by 46.5 millimeters with a 14 millimeter thickness, compared to something like my previous watch, the Garmin Fenix 7X Sapphire Solar, at 51 by 51 by 14.9 millimeters, it is a bit smaller. It might seem minor, but on the wrist, it makes a massive difference to me. I've noticed that it feels lighter and more comfortable for daily wear and during workouts. I really noticed this when I first put it on. It just is not as bulky and it feels actually lighter and not as noticeable on my wrist, and I really like that. It's also got a nylon quick fit band, and that also adds comfort too. I wasn't initially sold on this type of band, but its breathability and just the comfort won me over, especially when compared to the regular silicone bands, which tend to cause sweat when I've worn them in the past, and that's what I've been wearing for quite a few years. Another nice touch that I like is the always-on sapphire display. Now, this is pretty common in a lot of these watches these days, but this one, it just seems to have a better clarity to me than other watches I've used, and it's got a bit better color on the screen as well, and I think that's probably due to the brightness and the pixels. Is that what you say? I don't know. I'm not a technical guy. It also has a 3-button interface, one acting as a bezel, the one in the middle, and that makes navigating through the screens pretty good. I haven't had any trouble with that. I have heard of some people finding that a bit slow, but I find it fine, perfectly fine, works well, and I really actually like the 3-button sort of setup of the watch. But let's be honest, size and comfort don't matter much if the battery life doesn't deliver. So let's talk about why this watch can keep up with you on even your longest adventures. Battery life and charging. So imagine being days into a hike and not having to worry about your battery dying on your watch. Probably sounds too good to be true. The Apex 2 Pro boasts an incredible 45 hours in full GPS mode. But with the Ultramax GPX that they have, you get even more life. Think of it as the ultimate endurance athlete, running longer while using smart strategies to conserve energy. And I think that for me, on multi-day hikes, Ultramax will be a game changer. And I haven't had a chance to try it out on one of my extended sort of week-long hikes as yet, but I'm really excited to. Hopefully over this coming summer, we can do a more extensive review and dive into it a bit more. But it gets this extended battery life from this Ultramax GPS. So this Ultramax GPS works by using a combination of GPS and motion sensors to conserve power, and it doesn't sacrifice accuracy either. It does this by switching on the GPS for 30 seconds every 2 minutes. So for the 90 seconds the GPS is not turned on, the watch is relying on COROS's intelligent stride algorithm and motion sensors to maintain accuracy. So what that means is that there is no more worrying about running out of juice halfway through a trek. Activating the Ultramax feature is straightforward. You simply start your activity, hold the back button, the bottom, or for me it's the bottom right-hand button, scroll to Ultramax, and you're set to extend your adventure without worrying about power. It's that easy. And certainly to date, just wearing this watch in my daily life for the last 3 weeks and during runs, I have found the battery to be amazing. I put this watch on straight out of the box without charging it at all, and I've only had to charge it twice in the last 3 weeks. And it wasn't even flat on those occasions, it was down to about 20%. So I have generally been using the watch for activity tracking on average around 60 minutes or more every day. And when I compare it to other watches I've been using in the past, I find the battery life on this thing very impressive. Like a camel on a desert trek, one might say. Enduring, unbothered by long stretches without a recharge. That's a saying I heard somewhere. So now that your battery's sorted, what if you're trekking off the beaten path with no phone service? Navigation and offline maps. Another must-have feature in a watch is offline navigation. And if you're like me and often find yourself in remote areas with no phone signal, the offline maps on this watch are essential. And it is in fact probably the main reason I use a watch like this. The Apex 2 Pro syncs routes from the COROS app or other apps like Strava or Komoot via GPX files. Now, while I've used third-party tools like Gaia GPS before, where COROS stands out is with its fairly easy route creation right within the app itself. It has a really good topographic map overlay, but more on that in a sec. You also still do have the option to import GPX files directly into the app if you have created them elsewhere, like I often do, or if a friend has given you a file to upload. Now, this process is a little counterintuitive in that you need to go to the GPX file on your device and select it, then open it with the COROS app. But once you know how to do it, it is very straightforward to import routes created manually in other third-party apps. Once you have created a route or uploaded it via the app, it is saved for offline use. And these offline maps ensure that even when your phone has no service, your watch can keep you on track. To get your routes set up, just head to the Explore page in the COROS app, create or import your desired route and sync it with your watch. It's incredibly easy to use, and so far I have not encountered any issues with it. And the COROS app, on that note, is certainly the best watch app I have seen for in-app route creation. That is where you are using your phone, the app within the phone, to create a route. And for example, if I go into the app here and go to somewhere that I know extremely well and create a route, you can see that the level of detail is quite good on the map, and it's very easy to create a route on known sort of tracks. I can also switch to manual mode if I want and go off track very easily, a lot like a lot of the other apps that are out there. So from that perspective, it is very good. You can also download landscape or topographic maps from the app onto the watch, so that's ensuring you always have the necessary maps even when you're out of phone service. So it will then be on the app and on your watch. And this is perfect for planning routes ahead of time for remote hikes like I often do. But what if you're not alone? How can the COROS app help you keep your hiking group connected? Is there such a thing? can you keep a hiking group connected with a watch? Group tracking and safety alerts. Well, as a matter of fact, you can. If you're hiking with friends and suddenly someone falls behind, what do? The Apex 2 Pro includes group tracking, allowing you to monitor the location, pace, and distance of others in real time. It is like having a safety tether, so you can track each other's location in real time, monitor them, and send safety alerts if you need to. Now, as this is a feature of the app and the COROS ecosystem, you do all need to be wearing a COROS device. So as yet, I have been unable to test it, but to set it up, you would go into the app to group tracking, create a team, invite your friends, and you'd be able to follow each other in real time. Then for safety alerts, you would just hold down the bezel, the center dial, for 7 seconds, and that would alert the group that you need some help. So it's something I would like to test out in the future, as knowing where your group is would just add that extra layer of security and keep you connected even when nature feels most vast. Controlling your camera. So here's something that I didn't expect when I first opened the watch, and you probably wouldn't either, is that you can control devices like a GoPro or an Insta360 camera directly from your COROS Apex 2 Pro. Now, as someone who documents a lot of my hikes, this is going to be a very useful feature. I can start or stop recording without reaching for my camera, keeping my focus on the trail, and it's going to be good when I'm setting up the camera somewhere and I don't want to start it straight away. I can set it up over there and I can walk back over here and hit record when I'm ready to go. And to set it up, it's very straightforward. You just go to your watch settings, you pair the camera, and you're good to go. If you're creating content like me while you're adventuring, this is a seriously cool addition, and one I didn't know about until I first started using the watch. And I'm pretty sure it's a feature I'm going to be using all the time when I'm out on the track. Virtual pacer and running efficiency. Now, let's just change gears a bit and talk about running, because it is something that I use my watches for as well. So whether you're a casual runner or you're training for a marathon, this thing has something called the virtual pacer feature, which will help keep you on track. So you can set yourself a goal for a 5 kilometer, a half marathon, or even a full marathon, and the watch will give you real-time updates on your pace and your estimated finish time. I have used similar features like this on other watches, and I find this type of thing really useful, especially when I'm in a race. So I am looking forward to testing that feature out in future events when I have them coming up. To use that feature, you just need to be in run mode, set your target time and distance, and the virtual pacer will do the rest for you. And what I've found in the past when I've used features like this is it just keeps you motivated and helps you know where you're at in your race time. Extender for bigger screen visibility. Next little feature is for those of you who like seeing your metrics on a bigger screen. The extender feature allows you to sync your watch's live data to your phone, and it's particularly handy during indoor training, like when you're on a treadmill or you're on a trainer for your bike. Custom training plans and marathon prep. Another thing that I love is the ability to create custom training plans, and it's something that I look for in any watch that I'm going to use. It's a feature that I've used a lot over the years in other watches, and with COROS, they have the COROS personalized marathon plans, which analyze your data and help you structure your training based on your goals. You can also access pre-made plans from professional athletes and coaches, and with the COROS Training Hub, you can take it to the next level. This is a web portal that gives you or your coach access to all your training data, enabling analysis and seamless plan creation with its drag and drop sort of features, where you can just drop in a plan, you can copy today's run, paste it to next week's run. Quite a handy feature. You can also engage with teams or coaches for real-time feedback, motivation, accountability, all that great stuff. And when you combine it with the watch's training load and intensity trend, you can balance your easy runs, intervals, and strength training to avoid overtraining. All-day sleep tracking and fitness insights. And one more thing that has caught my attention with this watch is the all-day sleep tracking feature. So what this does is it provides detailed sleep metrics, including things like heart rate variability, to help gauge your recovery. And when you pair this with the recovery timer within the app, you'll know exactly when you're ready for your next workout. I also have the Evo Lab Training Hub, which also offers insights into your VO2 max, your running economy, and even the personalized fitness plans. And it makes this watch, I guess, a complete package for both athletes and hikers looking to optimize their performance. Everyday functionality. Now, I know some people want their smartwatches to control everything from music to payments to notifications, but for me, that's not what I'm after. The COROS Apex 2 Pro is focused on what matters to me, which is tracking my physical activities, navigating my adventures, and syncing my data with Strava. It doesn't have payment functionality like some of the competitors out there, but it is not something I miss at all. It's never been a feature that I've used on other watches, as I always tend to have my phone with me when I'm in those situations. And as for notifications, well, sure, you can get them on the COROS, and like on most other watches that I've used, you can't reply. But honestly, that is fine with me. I almost prefer not to get notifications at all on my phone, on my watch. I get them on my phone instead of my watch. I would prefer not to have notifications on my watch. It's just another distraction. It's something I don't like, it's something I've never liked, and I often just turn them off altogether. I definitely prefer my phone for handling calls and messages. I want my watch to be primarily a watch first and a navigation and fitness device second and third. I just don't want it to be a phone. So if you're looking for a watch that prioritizes these essentials, things like battery life, navigation, group safety, and advanced tracking, then this is definitely a great option. And it comes in at what I think is a very reasonable price when comparing it to the other options and competitors out there. And if you want to see some of the ways that I create routes to use on my watch, then check out this video where I look at another of my favorite navigation apps.